up close and personal, because Kennedy and I are going to be there, and she joins us now to discuss it. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
I mean, if you're in Reading, April 19th.
My Aunt Kathy's from Reading.
Thank you.
It's always, I mean, other than Monopoly, it's always been a very important city to my family.
Amen. Start there. Okay. Now,
and then all the people from Reading, welcome aboard. We almost burned the place down.
Stick with me, because Easter weekend, okay, you understand, you could go to our show and still make midnight mass. We're not going to keep you up late.
No.
But you are going to want Jesus after you watch the show, is the point. You're going to want some type of spiritual intervention for yourself and your loved ones, I would say.
You will need to resurrect yourself after the night we're going to have together, and then stumble into church, ask for forgiveness.
Where you put them, that's what we promise you.
If you buy one of the jade eggs from Gwyneth Paltrow's site, you can hide it in your hoo-ha.
Oh, Gwynny. One thing I'll
That's
say
real.
about Gwynny, as crazy as she is, I can remember making fun of her on this network 8 years ago when she was starting this blog, or 7 years, whatever it was. She's authentic. I bring this up for a reason. Like, she's authentically nuts, but that is who she is. And it comes across as maybe a little out of touch and weird and everything in between. But I was very heavily focused on authenticity, because not only will they find that on the Sluts and Sluts tour, as we're calling it, but there's a real issue for that in politics right now. I don't know if you caught this Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom interview.
It was incredible.
I know, where he's trying to fancy himself as like a tough guy now. And he says he scares conservative men. The only people scared of Tim Walz, as I've said, are cute altar boys. Okay? Because you see that energy, and you're like, do I have to go to confessional? Tough. They go to MMA fights. They talk about fighting and stuff. We'll put a little bit of that on them. Sometimes they curse. We'll make them drop an F-bomb.
Yeah.
But it's not authentic. It's not real. It's not who he is.
It's also, those aren't ideas.
Thank you.
And all you're doing is a really flimsy, embarrassing impression of masculinity. And if you have to tell people, I'm so masculine, I'm so manly, look how tough I am, it means you're not tough.
Yes.
Tough people don't have to sell it.
There's nothing less.
They walk around in sleeveless shirts and people look at their biceps and go, oh.
Everybody listening at home, if you're a comic who listens to the show, you need to know this. When you go on a road gig, meaning you're off campus, you're not in a comedy club, you're not in a theater, you're performing at like a holiday party. Anytime an employee of that company gives you something to say, it doesn't work. And it tragically doesn't work. They're like, hey, just make fun of Sully. Whatever you do, everybody will love it.
And a fake Beetlejuice be the entertainment at a holiday party at a radio station I was working at. And the general sales manager is no longer in radio.
Yes.
What if it's the same woman and she had two different families?
That wouldn't shock me, because our aunt the world that. But again,
and also it never issued a retraction.
No, but that's where I was back to my thing about authenticity. Trump has said like so many out of his mind things that people are just somehow okay with, because at the very least it's authentic. I mean, he actually called Ted Cruz's wife a dog. Oh my God. And then Ted had to endorse him in Cleveland. Remember, he's like, vote your conscience. Everybody booed him, and he was like, fine, vote for Trump. And that's how politics work. But Trump, if nothing else, is authentic, and he did say, and there has never been a retraction to this day, that Rafael Cruz whacked JFK.
Might have happened.
Possible he also, sitting at the top of this beast, realized what it was capable of.
Yes.
And was like, I'm not going to stick around and get eaten by this thing.
Yes, that's possible, for sure.
I do wonder about that sometimes. So I don't have an answer. We're talking to Kennedy. We're excited.
But that's what's so fascinating about this whole thing, is there can't be one South, like, I'm not going to eat anything because I save so much money if I don't buy food, and I'm not going to sleep, and I'm going to go right through the mountain pass, and then like 2 days later,
scurvy, you're hungry, you're dead. The Oregon Trail was brutal in that regard. It was like, it's funny, it's our generation's Grand Theft Auto. You couldn't see it in the Oregon Trail. They just kind of told it to you with bad graphics. It was, but it was like see Dick run, see Spot run, that sort of thing. Whereas Grand Theft Auto is a little more visceral. You can blow up the strip club and everything, which is
very much like the Oregon Trail, because by the time you get to Oregon, there are so many strip clubs.